Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host for today. As always, Liam Cross. You are watching Ero Ps F3. We are at the Belgian Grand Prix for round 10 of this championship. Only 6 rounds to go after this one. Coutinho is commenting. He's ruining my flow. I'm actually going to very quickly set up a party as well, just so we can get a good little bit of sound volume here. I'd say so. Yep. I don't want to invite anyone. Player limit. Can I set it to 1? No, I can't. Only 2. Let's just hope no one joins. Either way, yeah, I wasn't here last week. I apologise for that. I was away in Bournemouth for a cat cafe, which was very disappointing, as all of the kids decided to scream. Kind of ruined the vibe, if I say so myself. But I hope that won't continue. And apparently, getting little bits of confirmation that this is going to be a wet race, at least briefly. And I gotta say, I'm excited for that. I've not seen these drivers in the wet for a very, very, very long time. I cannot wait to get to see them this time. Now, we're going to be on board with, I want to say, Indian Jesus. Nope. I cannot find him. Reload here. My apologies. That is the man in front. The first man to leave the pit lane. The first man to start his lap around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. One of the best circuits in Formula 1. And thankfully coming back onto the calendar for another few years. Reload is starting his lap now, getting a very wide line into the final turn at least, coming into turn 1, a heavy braking zone into second. First gear actually, really playing with the gears there. Tipping it into the corner nicely. It's a bit of a banked curve going down second straight into a Rouge and Radion, full speed in these new F1 cars, entering the Kemmel Straight, DRS activated. Absolutely beautiful to see. Coming down to the next set of corners here, slowing it down into 4th gear. You can ride those curbs, but it's very dangerous, so for your first lap you may as well play it safe, wide on exit. Riding the curb beautifully down now into one of the worst hairpins in Formula 1, especially one of the most difficult. Then swinging it down into No Name corner, coming down turn 12, entering next P1. Swinging it around, lovely, stay in 7th gear, and he's went a little bit wide, but it's not invalidated his time. He's going to keep this lap. You may want to report it, I won't anymore. I don't think he gained time from it, so I think it's fair for his lap to stay. Either way, he's now into the Stavelot. Flying it around as Captain Emre serves his qualifying ban. Brilladeer entering Blanchimont now. A real corner of the pass, now more of a long straight as he led off the throttle. Nope, not quite, only loses about 5 miles per hour. And into the bus stop chicane, turn 19 and 20, slowing it down into 2nd gear, tight to the line this time, early on the throttle. Not a fantastic lap, but it's going to put in 1 minute 44.6 pole position as of now, but obviously no one else has said lap time. And Sean Goring 5 tenths up, the man from F4, if I may say so. very, very, very nice lap time there from that man. Next up, it's going to be a Red Bull driver of Yeast, a 144 flat coming through, followed by Mentalson, another 144 flat F4 showing their worth today. Oh my lord, Mentalson modifying P4 144.6. Next up, Indian Jesus. Into the pit lane he goes, clearly not happy with his lap, invalidated, I understand why. Linus next across the line, not able to... Oh no, he is, it's P2, 143.8 as Mises goes pole by a significant margin, if I say so myself. And Ivan Belov next across the line, P5, followed by the Mercedes of Ed Sack, another F4 regular, only able to go P7. To Mises though, 143.585. I'm going to have to say that's a fantastic lap time. That's a really good lap time. Happy to see if he can continue the form, which I imagine he can. To me, this being one of the fastest drivers here. You may have noticed as well, Lockig not here today. Lockig had something to attend, not able to race. It's intriguing. I'm going to have to say that much. It's going to be intriguing. Can he set? Well, can Tamisis catch? Ooh. Bit of a dodgy pit lane entry there. But it is qualifying. I won't punish too harshly or at all. I've been tagged. It's YouTube, so please, you know what to do. Look at the YouTube, look at the video, maybe even like the video actually. If you're enjoying the video so far, maybe even subscribe. If you're really enjoying the video, maybe even, as Mike Davis goes P6, consider joining the Discord, joining the racing, getting to chat to the drivers, race with the drivers. Lots of fantastic stuff. I'm sure it's going to be worth it. I'm still here after a year. It was worth it for me. If it's worth it for me, it should be worth it for you. That's what you'd think. My mouth is a little bit dry, so I'm going to have a Grace's Mighty Malt Premium, the classic energy malt drink, non-alcoholic. That's my beverage for today. Not sponsored. Not even particularly a fan of the drink. It's like a cream soda, if you ever had a cream soda. But it works. I hope that was good to listen to. Only 10 people getting to set a lap time in the first time out. This track, while the walls aren't that close, so many corners to throw you off. A 1 minute 43 lap time. There's so many opportunities for you to lose the car, so many opportunities for you to cut a corner. You can validate your lap, you can crash your car, you don't know. Porbeck leaving the session. I'm not sure what's happened there. He's supposed to leave the session. Hopefully he can rejoin before the race. Porbeck also observing a qualifying ban here, and unfortunately to say, you may notice there's 2 Alpine drivers, and neither of them are for Rover Pahipi. Apo got a race ban last time out. He got 5 penalty points, put his total up to 21. Unfortunately, he had to give him a race ban, which I feel bad about, because I like the kid. He may even be watching today. He just won't be able to race, so I knock over he can. Ennis on an out lap here. I'm trying to think who was actually on the lap. Indian Jesus again. I know he's got the speed. Can he set a lap time adequate? It's gonna be tough around this circuit, especially with Ennis in the way. He's gonna need to get out of the way if he doesn't want to receive a qualifying ban. Is he gonna do so? I'm not so sure. I'm with the ERS usage. Maybe worth saying that Jesus isn't actually on an out lap. I'm not so sure. Or maybe he was saving it, maybe he's given up on this lap because of Ennis's presence, which would be unfortunate, but understandable. You can understand that. And those guys getting a much better effort of how to get out of the way behind. Not entirely sure who it was, but they didn't cause any issues. That's important to know. Bit quieter today. I don't feel quite in the mood to commentate today, so I apologise if this stream isn't, as usual, very hot as well, but I can't open the window because neighbours would hear me doing this, which just can't happen. Ennis further dropping off. Indian Jesus coming around the final corner. What's the time gonna be? You think it might be a little bit slow because of Ennis, but what's it gonna be? It's a 1:44.9, and if I was Indian Jesus, I might really need to go to the stewards there because Ennis was absolutely in his way. Jesus is going to have to set one more lap time here to put him where he belongs as someone else going up the order. Banks with a 1:44 flat. Lovely, lovely stuff. Only 2 tenths off in our own Laxa in P2, who's become a little bit of a hot lap merchant. Wasn't as fast at the early parts of the season, but it's really ramped up the pressure really, really fast now as we've got a yellow flag in the first sector. I believe the Mercedes getting ready to start their laps. Yes, indeed. Tamesis possibly working with Edsac. You never know. Got another yellow flag in the middle sector on the Kemmel Straight, but not for anything significant. On the board with Tamesis now. Can he keep it flat up the ridge? Yes, he can. Hill so steep, you still lose 10 miles per hour, though. I mean, shows just how important it is. As Theo Smith, Susie 94, a 1:43.6 on the scene. Susie, fantastic stuff. Nearly, very, very nearly. Well, Tamesis actually bins it, so sorry, we're going to have to talk about that very quickly. Making sure not to block Edsac, his teammate. Good teammateship there. It's just not quite worked out for Tamesis there. Easy to lose the car. You get a bit stuck on the curb and your car swings around, and even if you save it, your lap time's over. So at least there was no damage. He'll have enough time to pit, go out again. That's the best he could do. As Andreas goes P15 with a 1:45.1. Lots of people making times now. Ennis up into P8. Lovely to see. People pitting, people not happy with their lap times as well. It is very hard. You might do a fantastic first lap. Then the second time, there's just, again, so many opportunities to make mistakes. As Mendelson, oh my lord, Mendelson with a 1:43.4, followed by Laxa, a 1:43 flat. That's an incredible time. That is an absolutely incredible time. Wowie. Wowie. That's good. That is good. Edsac up into P6 as well, improving his time ever so slightly. A 1:43.8 times are improving here. Really good to see someone in the backstretch looking to set a lap time. Who is it? It's SpongeBob, but he's invalidated his lap time. It won't count, and you're gonna have to imagine he pits at the end of this lap. Yep, makes sense. Preserving the time, preserving the tyres. No need to go for an extra in-lap to see how fast you were. You know how fast you were. There's no point in it. Good stuff. Andreas possibly coming to set another lap time. No. My apologies. Everyone into the pit lanes now. The pit lane now. Ready for the final run. It's going to be a bit chaotic. I've had qualifying sessions here before where people get a bit bunched up. They get a bit too F1-like in how they qualify. They don't want the people behind to set a lap time. They'll get stuck together. Everyone waits. It's not great. It's not pretty. And I think we're going to see it today. But we're going to find out. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. No one's span no, so I don't, again, see the issue. As Troncoso starting a lap time now. Lovely to see. Fabrizio in the race. Been a very active participant in Ero since he joined only a few weeks ago. Mr. Consistent Goatifi, as he would call himself. A little bit wide going into a ridge, but keeping it on track down the final. Sorry, the first DRS straight off Kemmel. Going into, let me get the track map up. Lecomb's up next. Oh, very wide into turn 4. I'd say 7. And he spun it actually. Oh dear. I'm so sorry, Fabrizio. Didn't mean to jinx you. Fabrizio usually the best at staying on track. Not today. It seems he did get practiced in F4. I'm not entirely sure where he finished, but I'll try and check for you if possible. Not possible, so my apologies. I'm going to get the YouTube videos up. Nah. So 2 seconds separating the field here in Belgium. It looks bigger than it really is. Belgium, again, the longer the track, the wider the gap. Fabrizio is struggling. He's going to have to set a lap time at least to get P17. And he could set a lap time here. Will we have enough time to pit and come out for another lap? It's going to be tight. A few people you see already coming around the circuit, not waiting for that final dart to the line. Andreas, Tamesis, so Indian Jesus. Guys that weren't willing to risk waiting and getting stuck in the pack. Fabrizio going to set the lap time or come into the pits. Because he might not get enough time to set a time here. I'm not joking. Oh, he's coming into the pits, slightly crossing the white line. But is he going to have enough time? I don't know. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. 2 minutes 33. He's got 45 seconds to be in that pit lane. That's harsh, especially when there's a Haas car trying to leave. I know he's already left. So that's good. But if I was Fabrizio, I would be getting my sweat on here. You might even have to do the qualifying lap with ERS just to get that final push. She's not looking good as Andreas comes across the line. Indian Jesus is a second up coming out of the middle sector. What is the lap time going to be for him? This has been a flying qualifying lap. Can he go for P7 maybe? Yes, he can. Oh, 144.02. Beautiful stuff. 5 tenths above Yeast. So, 500s above Yeast puts in P7, but that will be the best he can achieve this lap. You're going to have to remember that much. Next up is Andreas, I believe. I'm going to check the mini-map for whoever struggling. They're going to yellow flag in the second sector, but I believe that's just people on their the out lap, so nothing too interesting to note there. Andreas next up, just coming out of the no-name corner. We've got a yellow flag at P14, I believe Ennis, or, let me see, not Ennis, but Laxa having to go a little bit wide after setting that fantastic lap time of 143 flat. Even I'm not sure I could set that. I'm not that fast anyway. Laxa letting everyone through though. Playing it smart, playing it relaxed. Possibly waiting. Could be waiting to be the last man on track, the freshest track. Interesting. It's an interesting shout. We're going to find out about Andreas around Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane in about 1, 2, 3, slowing it down. Second gear for him. Oh, nearly getting blocked, but not quite. Maybe even a little slipstream from Ennis in front. DRS activated, and P14 it is for Andreas. Not his best qualifying session, but only 2 tenths off 7th, so can't complain too much, can he? Linus, I don't know what's going on with Linus. What are you doing? Okay, so Linus wasn't on the lap time, but Tamesis or Edsack may have cause to report that. That was a bit dodgy. Tamesis not able to set a lap time. Trunk. How did he get out of the pit lane? I don't know. Didn't get to set a lap time either. Next up is going to be Edsack coming up to the bus stop chicane, followed by not Laxa. We're going to find out who. Edsack around the final corner. A little bit of a slow turn. Is he going to be able to improve? No, he is. Oh, he is, but not enough to gain positions. Next up by Williams. Lottie Viking stays P15. Susie up next. A man in P5. Forever impressing. Can he get up to the likes of Ivan Belov? It's going to be tight, but can he do it? Yes, he can. P2 for the Haas man. Banks up next. Not Banks, I don't know who's up next anymore. Someone's found a reload dear. Oh, dearie me, coming past RPM Yeast. Yeast able to go P5. McLaren of Mendelsohn spinning on the final corner as well. Oh no, blocking Ennis possibly, I doubt so. Where's Ennis going to be? Ennis can't improve, stays 11th. Next up, there's a few guys coming through. but I believe Banks and Banks coming through the final corner. Also, Sean Goring, Crystal Jill. Banks not able to settle that time. Sean Goring goes P7. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff from all of them. And that is the end of qualifying. I could have done a better job, so I apologise for that. My mouth is beginning to salivate. P5 is sexy, to say the least. Having a drink. Very sorry. It was a lovely drink, however. But Ero Laxa, what an incredible qualifying session. 3.5 attempts above P2, which is Susie, followed by Mendelson, the man from F4, and Ivan Belov, the man from F2. Yeast and Temesis make up the third row of the grid, followed by Sean Goring and Edzak, and all F4, fourth row, Indian Jesus and Banks. 9 and 10th, followed by Relo Dia and Ennis Safari. It's SpongeBob making his debut, lines up alongside Andreas, with Melody Viking and Alfan behind. Porbeck and Captain Enray serving qualifying vans, and Trunk not able to set a lap time, starting at the back of the grid. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check the description below. Check the Discord link. Sign up. I'll be excited to watch you. Maybe I get to commentate on you. Maybe I get to race with you in F1. I'm excited. That's all I can say. All I can say is I'm very, very excited. Give me something to rave about. No qualifying. Sorry, no formation lap on for this session. Important to note. So we're going to be getting underway in 30 seconds. Unless I've been lied to. But I don't believe I have. Also means I'm not going to get to go through the tyres, whatnot. But I am going to take a breather as the anticipation builds. It's showtime. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for Ero Ps F3. He's going to get a fantastic start. Reload Dia getting a terrible start. No, Indian Jesus actually already out of this race. Mendelson with a bit of a crazy dive, losing a lot of positions there. Laxa being pushed off there. Yeast also getting a time penalty. So they're going to be served in the pit lane, I believe. And we already have a VSC. Indian Jesus with... I don't know if he was tapped. I almost hope he was tapped, because if that was to just happen alone, I feel gutted. Oh dear. Wow. Mendelson losing a lot of positions. Qualified P3. Where is he now? Not quite there. That's really unfortunate, but he seemed to do a bit of a brave dive. Didn't quite work out. Same for Yeast. Apparently they both got a 5-second penalty for contact with Laxa, which I'm not so sure can be removed. Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad for Indian Jesus. Either way, that is not... He's not had a great time in Ero so far, but I know he has the pace in him. I know he does. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway, virtual safety car is gone, and rain is already coming. I don't know if you can see the flex from the camera, but rain is here. Not to stay, but this is the strategy call. This is interesting. Are they going to have to pit, or are they going to stay out? Are they going to brave it? Is this going to be like Austria Season 6 in F1? I don't know. I'm excited though. Temesis right on the back of Laxa. Temesis knows he needs to win this if he wants to make up the deficit to Lokic. Temesis, if I'm correct, is... Let's see. You're going to show us... Oh, Linus nearly losing the car actually. Getting a bit of his ahead of himself there. Temesis is 41 points behind Lockig. Tomesis needs this win, and he's going for it already on the medium compound. Trying to go around the outside of Laxa, not quite possible. But what a switchback! Laxa going a bit wide there. Tomesis getting the switchback, absolutely fantastic to see. Yeast getting the overtake done on SpongeBob at the same time. SpongeBob having to concede the position for now. That was a lovely overtake by Tomesis. That's going to be another one he posts for the overtake of the month. You just know it. But Laxa going for the overtake once more. What a terrible camera angle. And is he going to get the move done? Yes, he does. Loses the car a little bit, though. He allows Tomesis to go round the outside in the Lecon section. Not quite working for now, though. And I believe Yeast may have span with a little bit of contact. He's lost at least 4 positions now, but he's still on track. Still in this race. Maybe just going a little bit wide. Going back up the field. Seeing everyone's getting a little bit calm. There's a big gap forming, however, between SpongeBob and Mentelson, the top 9, running away with things from the bottom 9. And Fabrizio Troncoso trailing a bit at the back of the field, hoping that he can catch back up, gain his momentum. Will he get a flag? It's Edzak gone. Yes, I believe so. Does he have damage? Not quite sure, but he's going to be at the end of this pack, unfortunately. No damage. But it's just showing these conditions are very, very hard to drive in. I expect to see a lot more spins just like that. However, we're also looking at overtakes here. Andreas right on the back of Ennis into Blanchimont. Could Andreas go for a dive? I think maybe he's a little bit too far back from here. Nah, yeah. Overtake not going to work from there. But it was nearly. And this is a track, when this track is so demanding, there's so many opportunities for mistakes. If you nearly make a mistake, there's a good chance that you're going to get overtaken. And that's the only thing for the guy behind they need to happen. They can be fast, but if they make a mistake, you have to capitalise. There's only so many mistakes a driver does. Only so many opportunities you get to make an overtake. Tomesis getting the overtake done, however, with the help of DRS at the Kemmel Straight. Little overtake behind is Susie. Susie makes contact with Crystal. I'm not sure who was at fault. Susie unfortunately stuck trying to get back on track without doing an unsafe rejoin as well. He's waiting. Bless him. That was actually quite a relatively good rejoin. Andreas also going off track. Not entirely sure why he's went off track, but he was in between Yeast, so maybe it was a Yeast dive bomb. Yeast wouldn't like me saying that, but oh well. The rain getting a lot heavier now. These conditions look quite treacherous. I wouldn't be surprised if someone maybe considers pitting this lap. You wouldn't think it'd be that wet, but it can be when you're on track, it feels a lot wetter than it is from the spectator's point of view, I can assure you. My hazard is that there. Oh no, there's another spin. Who is it this time? Alfam. Oh, someone banked Ivan Belov, also losing the car, but it was someone else. I cannot work out who it was. I believe Alfam, Ivan Belov, just about saving the car, but not enough to keep the positions. Unfortunately for him, in the top 3 now, pulling away with the little gap caused by Ivan Belov's spin. Important to note now for this here, while I am still the steward, I don't report everything I see anymore. As DRS is disabled, the AI clearly think it's too wet for the soft tyres. Is Troncoso going to pit? No, Troncoso decides to stay out. He's sticking with it. Fair enough, the Haas is 17th and 18th. Do you think it would have been a better weekend for them? As judged by where Susie was at the start of this race, but she's fallen apart a little bit as Leo and Laxa defending from Sean Goring, getting the move stuck. Sean Goring not able to make the overtake. Although, is he going to go for a dive into the hairpin? Contact! Laxa moving on the straight, a possible block. Goring not able to make the move work. And now Rio Dia looking to go around the outside of the no-name corner. No, never going to work there. Playing well with it. Or to the inside of P1? Surely not. Thank the Lord. That's a death sentence waiting to happen. And this rain is looking really bad now. I think Tomesis is going to have to pit this lap. The soft runners especially. Linus, the longer he stays out, the worse it's going to be. These sides are going to fall off the cliff. especially around, only 4 laps, but it's a short 4 laps as Alfam spins it in P1, looking the wrong way. Fabrizio moving up into P17. We've got another yellow flag. Oh, no, we don't. Laxa really slow now, really slow. Tomesis flying away. Oh, we do have a yellow flag, and this time it's Andreas who's hit the wall as well. Doesn't appear to have suffered damage. No, Alfam also off circuit here. Yeah, once you spin once, the tyres get too hot. Oh, Mendelsohn nearly losing the car. Loses the position to SpongeBob. Mendelsohn just about saving it. And Edsack, the first man to pit, the first man to think these are too wet, these conditions, followed by Susie just behind, who's all hit the wall, may have to actually fix a front wing now. Andreas stays out. Alfam, yeah, okay. I believe that. Yeah, something just happened. I don't know what happened. Was that an intentional retirement or what? I don't know. It's one of them. Susie onto the intermediates. Troncoso onto the intermediates. Edsack onto the intermediates. It's going to be really interesting to see if these guys can catch the guys ahead. There's Reloadia trying to make a move. On Linus, not able to do so. Oh, to the inside of No Name Corner. Laxa keeping it around the outside, but these softs are simply dying off so much now. There is nothing he can do to defend the position. This track is really wet. Edsack gaining time on Andreas. I think Edsack may have made the right call here. I know he wasn't in the lead train, but he could be. After this round of pit stops, people have to pit, surely. This track is looking treacherous, to say the least. Tomesis, the front of the field. Linus just falling away like a stone. Not able to keep the car on the track. No grip, which means no traction. Which also means no confidence as Banks having to defend from SpongeBob. Going for a very, very brave move into Plunchment. Oh, any contact? No, not quite. But SpongeBob surely he's going to go for a move here into the bus stop chicane. Be brave. Nope, Tomesis goes into the pit lane. Oh, okay. Oh, Laxa really losing the car at some point then as Banks has managed to make the overtake. But Crystal, Sean Goring and Patrick Fargo staying out. They want to stay on these medium tyres, which just bewilders me. Unless they think they can stay ahead, if they don't think this frame's going to last long, which could be the case, this is going to be a very, very brave decision. As you see, Tomesis back into the lead, but Edsack, this is what I want to see. Where is Edsack going to be? P8 currently. We've got 28 viewers, 30 viewers actually. That's lovely. Edsack gaining 5 seconds on Andreas at lap, which says a lot. He probably gained 5 seconds on everyone else as well. Up into P8, a little far down. Yeah, can you slap like, please? That would be lovely. Andreas, defenseless here. No power. And if he's smart, he'll let Adzak through, which he does. Emre looking for a move on Ennis as well to the outside of Lecom. Nope, thinks better of it. Unless he goes a little bit deep. Yes, Farga has a fan club. Of course he does. Everyone likes Farga. But Jamesis, now 7 seconds between him and the guys behind. I don't know what was going on with the battling there, but Jamesis excellently played in the rain. No full traction either. He's on medium traction control, so I'm confused as to how he's that fast. But props to him, and he's catching Sean Goring and Real Idea with a rapid speed. Andreas sticking it out, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. As it's SpongeBob actually losing the car on the intermediate tyres, getting overtaken by Edsack into P6. Crystal getting a 3 second time penalty as well, which is another thing to say. I didn't even mention this. When you get a 3 second time penalty here, as Sean Goring opts to pit, it's easy to get them. It is easy to get a 3 second time penalty here. There's only 22 laps. There's not too many corners, I suppose. But don't expect it to stop with Sean Goring. I would absolutely say there's going to be more people to get a penalty. Sean Goring coming out of the pit lane, currently P6, definitely lost some positions by staying out Where's it going to lead him? Can he get ahead of Edsack? Ooh, it's going to be tight. I think Edsack may have the run on him into a ridge. Are they going to go side by side? Quite possibly. No, not quite. Edsack just a little bit too far behind to make the move stick. But Crystal is going to be on... Oh, Jesus, SpongeBob. Crystal is going to be on a bit cold tyres. Cold tyres. You think Edsack would be able to catch up? Not quite the case, however, though. Crystal keeping P5 for now. Things can change, obviously. I'm interested to see what happens. However, I've got a battle on in the background. Yeast and Lottie Viking, my apologies. Yeast push around. Oh, a little tap from Lottie Viking. Saving the car, though. Excellent car control. Edsack looking for a move on Crystal, just like I said. And Edsack keeping the move for now. Oh, some contact being made. Nearly moving to P1, but Crystal thinks better of it. They're preserving the lead. Oh, Crystal's gone. And Crystal's actually gone. He's spun off at P1. Keeping the car. He has kept the car. I'm going to have to give him credit for that. And it was a safe rejoin. But he's going to be P11, unfortunately, behind his F4 compatriot. Not how he wanted that to go. These tyres, they're not the best tyres. And wet Belgium is just it's a recipe for disaster, really. As Tomesis has made the lead, the overtake for the lead on Patrick Fargo, who's staying out on his mediums. He clearly has a vision what's going to happen, and he's sticking to it, which I really do commend. These conditions are not looking good. They're not looking good, but he's sticking with it. He knows something that everyone else doesn't. I'm happy to see that. Andreas has bottled it, though. Andreas now on the intermediate tyres. He couldn't stay on those tyres any longer. Patrick Fargo, the only dry runner. He's doing a Season 6 Austria. I'm so excited to see if it'll pay off. Keeping it on the road, corners like a Rouge, to be able to stay going is just incredible. But he's losing a lot of time to Kinesis, however, which isn't great. And even if the track was to dry up, Dia has to pit, Tomesis has to pit. So currently he is in track position P2, or, you know, you know what I'm trying to say. He's actually P2 on track. No, P2, whatever. Ignore me. But he's going to be overtaken from his Hungarian friend very shortly. Yeah, Banks around the outside of no-name corner. Rio Dia really struggling to keep the car now. It's going to get a flag. Who's it for? Mendleton, I believe. There's, oh my god, there's front wing end plates flying off. Lottie Viking definitely with damage. I didn't get to quite see who's caused it. Maybe Yeast getting a little bit feisty there. Crystal also without the front wing, or at least parts of it, going wide into P1, unsurprising, losing the position to Ennis. Lottie Viking now going for the move. Is he going to get it done? Yes, he does. Ivan Belov up next around the outside. No, not quite. But maybe even... Oh, what is going on? There's a... Poor back on the inside of Susie here. Susie having to concede the position into Stavelot. And then the run down and the final straight. This is chaos. Everyone's in a battle here, aside from the guys up front. Wowee. And Reload Dia also, I believe, has spun at some point, having to pit onto the intermediates now, which is a shame. I hope he's going to pit onto the... Oh my god, this is so hard. Front wing damage, surely as well. Oh, I feel gutted for the man. He tried a different strategy. He tried a brave strategy, and it's just not worked out for him. And he's pitting onto the intermediates. He can't hack it anymore. And unfortunately, that's really going to ruin his race, especially if there isn't another safety car. We've only had 2 crashes so far, 9 laps into the race. There'll probably be a few more crashes, but is there going to be a safety car? I don't know. But I'm worried. I'm worried for Reload Dia that's not helped him at all. Come out P13. He's only 8 seconds behind the lead, so it's not awful. It's just not fantastic either, as Susie makes an overtake for P11. I believe Corvette may have actually lost the car a little bit coming out of the Rouge, but we'll see. There should be a few reports going. Hi. Banks going wide into P1. Ennis, Linus on the hunt. Edsack close behind. And SpongeBob making his debut, proving his worth already, which is just fantastic to see. 37 viewers. Oh my lord. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're doing good now. Ero. Oh, oh. Look at us go. And it's not even my best commentary performance by a long shot, so I do apologise for that once more. Linus right on the back of Banks now. Banks going incredibly slowly. You're going to have to think there may be some damage as SpongeBob loses the car and Emre making the overtake. But it's Linus going to go for the move here? No, thinks better of it. The bus stop chicane. And not the wisest place to make an overtake with the camel straight so close. Kind of a place you don't want to overtake. Ivan Belov making the move on Lottie Viking, who has that right wing end plate missing. Really going to hurt him, especially into the fast corners. Which most of these corners are relatively fast. They're not the slowest corners in the world. Something like Blanchimont, that will slow you down even more than it should. But, to back up to the lead of this race, Banks 9 seconds behind Tomesis now. Linus on his tail. Is Linus going to go for a move into Lacombe? No, thinks better of it, but it's looking so close to happening. Linus all over the Hungarian now. 44 viewers? What is going on? Have we just exploded? I don't know. But Linus not able to make the overtake yet. Banks controlling the car beautifully in these wet situations. Lottie Viking and Susie side by side. Oh, gonna be contact. Surely. No. Beautiful from the man in the Haas and the Williams to keep it side by side. And they're going side by side for another corner here. Can they make it too? Not quite. No name corner. Not side by side. At least for Susie, Poorbeck getting a fantastic switchback down the inside of Lottie Viking with the damage. Not much Lottie Viking can do. Lottie Viking have to accept losing P11. And that is a fantastic battle. We've got a yellow flag ahead. And it's Ennis. Ennis who's lost the car. Having to go wide to let Lottie Viking through. So Lottie Viking getting his P11 back. Ennis, no damage. At least physical damage. He could have slight damage to the end plate, but we're going to find out later on here. And Banks is going really slowly because Edsack is caught up to the pack. And I'm not sure what's going on here, but Linus looking very feisty. Linus wants to overtake. He's trying to work out when to overtake is the issue, because you can get a great run on someone, but without any DRS on the Kemmel Straight in these cars, it's still hard to overtake. Slipstream isn't fantastic. And you can't really just push the car into the corner and hope Banks moves out the way. No, you have to be very skillful with your overtake. And Banks is smart enough to defend. Maybe that is why he's going so slow. He's just been defending the entire time. But it's allowing Emre and SpongeBob also to catch up. Again, the Buildup is really showing a good race speed here. We've got DNF and it's Laxa. Laxa out of this race. Oh dear. And that's going to be a safety car surely. Yes, it is. 11 laps left of this Grand Prix and we have a safety car. Linus, I'm going to have to try and work out where he crashed, but I think it's not a normal place to crash, but I'm guessing on the second bit of Lakon, which I believe is turn 8 possibly. I think he just lost the car and went into the wall on the left, so oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame there. Linus was looking very fast. Obviously, the man on the pole, not going to get his point for pole either. So 0 points for Linus. The only Ero representative in this lobby. That's a shame. I'm sad about that. But for people like Relo Dia, they don't care. Relo Dia's just been saved. Relo Dia back in this race after going on a very brave strategy call. Incredibly brave strategy call, is back in contention. Happy to see. Everyone, I don't know. I can't say. It looks drier. I would say it looks drier. What size is it going to be for Tomesis? And it's going to be the hard compound, so I was right. Whew! Onto the hard compound for Tomesis. Banks, what's it going to be? I imagine everyone's going to pit. It does look very dry now, and it definitely will be dry by the time this safety car comes in. It's going to be the hard compound for Banks, the hard compound for Edsack. Emre Also onto the hards. SpongeBob once more onto the hards. Everyone using their medium compounds apparently. Yeast hard. This is... Has no one saved up their mediums? And as Ivan Belov gets a 5-second penalty. And then a 15-second time penalty. What? I have a feeling that Ivan Belov is going to be retiring from this Grand Prix. I don't know what's just happened there. How's he got... Wait, so it's the 15 seconds from the one incident for Ivan Belov, and I would retire if I was him. Because after... Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what just happened there. But, whoopsie. But yeah, so everyone on the hard compound, apart from Fabrizio and Mendelson, who was nearly lapped. You can see that. There wasn't much space between him and the safety car. But he's going to get to come around. He's on old medium tyres. So these are the tyres he used earlier. Maybe relying on another safety car to save him. But he is going to catch up to the back of the pack at least. And we've seen he qualified P3 in dry conditions. He does have pace. Pitting does Mendelson possibly onto the hard compound now? We're going to find out. Either the hard or the softs, but I would safely say the softs can't complete the race distance. What's it going to be? The hard compound, yeah, so he's playing it very safe. Also used the hard tyre for a bit, so interesting strategy being deployed by Mendelson. Don't know how he's managed to do 2 stints on the medium and 2 stints on the hards, but he's done it. Although, I can't lie, I don't know. I don't think he's going to catch a safety car. I really don't. It'd be unfortunate if he doesn't. But this is the risk when you're the guy at the back of the field. I think sometimes it's better to catch the safety car and then pit. You get fresher tyres than everyone else. And you also, you secure the fact that you're going to be in that safety car train, which Mendelson hasn't done. He's now relying on the safety car going slowly. And with a lap this big, maybe he can catch up to the safety car. The safety car will obviously be going a bit slower than usual, but I have a feeling it's not going to play out like that, unfortunately. I think Mendelson might just miss it. Which is sad, but what can you do? The best racer so far today has been Captain Emre, starting P18, now P4. Fantastic stuff from him. Paul Beck, who also served a qualifying ban, now P8. Apo proved it for the last 3 races, ignoring Baku, that if you get a qualifying ban, for whatever reason, you feel energized and you do better. They were his best races, bar Silverstone, where he won the Grand Prix. And he didn't qualify. He started back in all of them. Maybe it's because he's missing incidents up front. I mean, that is a possibility. But then his qualifying ban was taken from him, and he DNF'd. So I'm interested. Absolutely, Connor. Fabrizio's mediums. No, Fabrizio on the hard tyres as well, actually. Okay. I mean, you're right, Connor. Those medium tyres are going to be shredded by the end of this race. And I think the drivers know that as well. And none of them have even dared pit onto the mediums. I'm surprised that no one thought, I'll give it a go. I'll be a bit different. Yeah, fantastic choice. But, I think they're being safe, and that is intelligent. I would be a bit more daring, but I wouldn't finish the race. I'm used to not finishing, so... or at least finishing very far behind the lead. So I think this is a smarter way of doing things. Mendelson also with the fastest lap currently. Only just noticed that. But these lap times you'd expect to improve. The track dries, the track gets hotter, the sun lights out, the tyres get hotter. They're working at a more optimal condition, I'm expecting. And there's less fuel in the car, obviously, and they're more used to the track. I'm very much expecting faster lap times, maybe even a 47. 46 to happen. Is the safety car coming in? I do not believe so. We're going around one more time, which is going to save Mendelssohn quite dearly here. Mendelssohn is going to catch up to the safety car after all. So I take back what I said. I thought it was impossible, but he's done it. He's proved me wrong. Maybe the safety car's staying out because of him as well. So very, very lucky there. The only people with penalties: Crystal, Melody Viking, and Yeast. Yeast, I believe, picked up a penalty elsewhere. Yeah, but a 3-second time penalty for Yeast. Although I believe he was side by side. One of those warnings may be removed. Although he served his 5-second penalty for crashing into the US already. I personally it didn't seem like an automatic 5-second penalty. I'm sure it'll be reported. But Mendelssohn also serving that 5-second time penalty. So you're not able to report the penalty, but you can report the incident if someone feels like they lost out because of it. Mendelssohn definitely lost out. He went from P3 to P9, I want to say. Completely lost his rhythm. It wasn't good. But we do get another attempt at another race start. We're going to have, if I can count, which I can, 7 laps of racing still to go. You have 15, 16, 17, 18. No, 8. I'm stupid. That's ignoring the obvious possibility that there could be another safety car, which there usually is. You get one safety car, everyone gets bunched up together. They get, especially near the end of the race, they get desperate. They all want to win. They all want to overtake the guy ahead. They all have aspirations higher than what they already are, and they drive into each other. You know, and it happens. People get a bit too angsty. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? Anyway, let's see what the chat is saying. Has anyone said anything in F3? Is anyone angry? The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. We're going to go back to broadcast cam. People are a little bit annoyed. Mainly with themselves, I see. So it's good to see. No arguing happening. People, racing is racing. Linus will be furious. Whether I've Alfam, I'm not sure what happened. Ivan Belov completely capitulated, and Indian Jesus didn't last the corner, unfortunately. But Tamisis leading a safety car restart, very quickly exiting the safety car restart, racing away already. Banks not being caught off guard as such, but not being very close to the guy ahead. No one looking like they're going for an overtake into turn 1, aside from Sean Goring, who's being not nearly overtook. What happened there? I don't know. Andre, I believe, actually contact there. I think Lottie Viking drove into Andreas, ghosted, and Sean Goring actually managed to make 2 overtakes there on the safety car restart. The only guy to make an overtake so far. Beautiful stuff. Anyone else looking like they could go for an overtake? Not quite. Maybe Mendelssohn right on the back of Fabrizio. Is he going to go for a dive into Lecom? No, thinks better of it for now. Having to get stuck behind Troncoso a little bit around the outside of the Lecom section. No, not quite as a Velodia. Moving around a bit, and Fabrizio being overtaken by Mendelssohn on the exit of Lecom. Nothing he could do there. Now it's just about staying in the race and surviving. And Tamisis flies away. We've got a yellow flag, and it's for, it's a SpongeBob. He's been so good so far, but all falling away from him there. A good rejoin from him though. I have to give him credit for that. Not getting in anyone else's way, staying to the side of the track until it was safe. Happy to see that from a driver. Sometimes I don't get to see it too much. Today is different. But Tamisis absolutely flying away with it. He's looking to get every point he could possibly can. As I'm going to hide these penalties here. Just bear with me. Got another yellow flag. It's SpongeBob once again. The tyres are cold. Or too hot, actually. Probably too hot. Looks very much like he's It's not going great for him, is it? As Tomesis, that's the fastest lap in this race. No one able to compete as of now, obviously, because he started straight into the 46s. I predicted the 47s at least. It was the 46 immediately. Oh dear, I think we could be on for a 45 as well. Obviously, providing someone crashes as Tomesis cuts Radion, quite a significant cut. Not enough to be penalised instantly, but will be a warning, I can guarantee. Banks close behind. Possibility that Tomesis used all of his ERS trying to get away, and we're going to we're going to find out that it wasn't the smartest decision later on. I think that's a very, entirely possible possibility there. Mate, Tomesis may be caught, although Banks losing a lot of time in the first sector. Well, not in the first, the second sector. Not sure why. Possibly just losing control of the car a bit. He did lose time to Edsack as well, by roughly the same margin. And Captain Emre in P4, the man with a qualifying ban, ready to prove himself ready to race. Which I know he is. I know he has the speed. Just needs to get into it. Banks losing even more time now, falling into Edsack's grasp. A Mercedes 1-2 could be a possibility here. If you're not familiar or not aware, Alex Wells, it's unfortunately looking like he may not be able to race in this tier anymore because of, real life activities. But Mercedes 1-2 looking very, very possible here, and I would love to see it if it could be. Tomesis now getting a gap of 1.7 seconds. We only have 6 laps left of action in Belgium. Belgium. And it's important to know, actually, I didn't say this, Andreas is Belgian. I believe from the Dutch part. So, if you're Belgian in the chat and you're a bit upset about that, I'm sorry. There's not much I can do. Have a go at Andreas, not me. But Andreas, P11 at his home Grand Prix, I'm sure he would have liked to be a little bit higher, but it is what it is. Sean Goring, is he going to go for a move on Ennis? Oh, to the outside of Lacombe. I believe they're in a party chat. So to be putting moves like that on your more senior teammate or senior friend is brave, very brave, but he keeps it safe, very safe. And it's going a bit wide at the hairpin, down to no names. Sean Goring's going to stick it there, possibly. He's going to get a better exit out of the no-name corner, but can't make the move stick. Not going to go to the inside of P1. He's not a madman or a man with a death wish. Good to know. Thanks. Further pulling away now. I was wrong about Tomesis. That was a good lap time. And it's now looking like Tomesis could run away with this. He could cut the gap to Lukic in half. This should be nice to see. We want to see a championship battle. We only have 6 rounds left after this, as we didn't want to do a race during the World Cup, obviously. The World Cup final, to be more specific. But Tomesis running away with this one. He knows he needs to win. This would be his 3rd win of the season as well. I don't believe anyone else has won that many races. Just Lukic is a bit more consistent. No, this would be Tomesis' 3rd win. And if he does it, all power to him. We've got someone pissing Lolly Viking. I'm going to guess he has a bit of damage. Is that true? Wouldn't be pitting normally, would you? But when does he come in? Is he going for the fastest lap? Yes, he is. In all fairness, if he just thought he was... No, the front wing's off, yeah. Front wing's off onto the soft tyres. SpongeBob not able to the fastest lap quite yet, but coming around the bus stop chicane, he should be quicker than Tomesis on the hards. You'd expect so. What's the lap time going to be? It's going to be a 1:44 maybe. It's a 1:45.2. Lovely stuff. About a second and a half above the original fastest lap. But Melody Viking is going to be coming for that crown very, very soon. Can't wait to see what happens. So Banks, Attack, Emre in a little train for the podium positions. Yeast close behind, but has a time penalty. So does his teammate Andreas, and so does Sean Goring and Melody Viking. But Yeast could get the penalty removed. We never know until we know. He gets another one. We know. Why have you done that to me? So Yeast out of contention. Out of contention as Edsack gets passed by Captain Emre for P3. Edsack obviously losing the car at some point there. Not normal to go slow there. Edsack coming down P4 now. Out. So Mercedes at 1-2 is looking ever so unlikely now, as Sean Goring also pits from P11 into the pit lane, just about keeps it under the delta. 48 viewers now, thank you for watching. Into the pit lane, put on the soft tyre to set the fastest lap, and I assume he has wing damage as well. Yes, he does. Fair enough. But looking behind, Tamesis in a world of his own, no point looking at him. Captain Emre not able to catch Banks for now, but it's close as Edsack out of ERS. Yeast defending quite hard from Reload Dia, although you'd think it'd be wiser to let Reload Dia through and use his DRS so that people behind don't get caught up. Mendelssohn with a 3-second time penalty, that is going to hurt his chances of points quite significantly, especially when he's already behind at the back of this train. But the battling looks intense. Captain Emre really close to the back of Banks now. Only 4 attempts in it. Less than half a second. Edsack falling away without the ERS. I'm not going to look at the ERS. I'm going to let it be a bit of a mystery here. Why not? Reloading not able to overtake Yeast. But he knows that AP5 is on the table for Patrick, which would be a very, very good result. He's been very, very good so far. Oh, okay, Bottas. Good old Bottas. Thanks, Tim. But Banks slowing down as Flunchbob gets a 3-second time penalty here. Banks just about holding the position, but it's tight. It's close to the top 3. So close, and Yeast catching up as well. If Yeast can get the DRS, can absolutely help him defend against Reload Dia, bring him into the pack, possibly get a 6 seconds gap to everyone as Edsack loses the car on the exit of the hairpin, the first turn. Really not what you want there. He's still gonna get DRS, but without the ERS, Yeast may even go for an overtake on him. It's gonna be tight. Getting a terrible Rouge exit, and Yeast around the outside on the Camel Straight. Move become quite easy actually. Edsack just not able to fight anymore. It's really unfortunate to see as Andreas makes the move on Mendelssohn makes the move on Andreas. And the laps are flying away. We only have 3 left, including this one. Who is going to get the podium positions? It looks like Tamesis is on for a race win. No flying lap for him. It's just going to be 25 points, but Tamesis has been very solid this weekend. Banks just not having the pace, the legs at the end of it. But Captain Emre looking so close to getting a podium. I believe possibly his first podium of the season. Let me check that stat. Yes, it would be his first podium. He's been very fast, but only scored points twice. Always finishing in the top 4. But it's tight. It's really close. There's 7 attempts in it. Emre possibly saving, waiting for the final lap to go for the move, not to be really overtaken, which would be intelligent driving. Banks still using a little bit of DRS as Sean Goring goes for a little bit of a spin in the final sector, the second sector, just not quite having it. As Ennis is also spun out the bus stop chicane, possibly contact. We're going to find out with a report. Not being Ennis's day today, as a SpongeBob pit retires in the wall from last position. Safety car, too late for safety car. So that's good to know. There's no more safety cars. We are racing to the end of this one. Emre falling behind. Banks now pushing a little bit. Running out of ERS, however, which will be a confidence booster for Emre if he has the ERS. That's the important thing. You're going to find out. It's Reload Dia looking like it's going to go for a move on the Mercedes of Edsack. Too wide going into the hairpin. Usually the guy on the outside wins. Who's it going to be this time? No, it's going to be Edsack keeping the position. Reloadia not able to carry the traction. It's unfortunate. He has 13 runners in this race left. Sean Goring retires in the pit lane, which is all fair. Mendelson is out of it though. Mendelson is absolutely out of this race now. We've got 50 viewers. Nice to see you in the chat for this final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix for F3 round 10. Welcome to Ero if you're new around here. Ennis just crawling around now. It's sad to see his race end in tatters. Banks catching up to Mises, but with a lap and 2 seconds as the gap. I think it's going to be a little bit too much. Captain Emre maybe wishing he'd went for the overtake earlier. It's not looking fantastic now. Is he going to get the overtake? It's going to be tight. He's going to get DRS. In all fairness, he will get the DRS, but he's out of DRS himself, so I don't think he's going to have the legs to push. He certainly can't gain a second in the final sector. That's for sure. He's going to have to rely on Banks losing control of the car. Meanwhile, for Reload Dia, however, he is so close to the back of Edsack. This overtake's not going to be quite as hard here. He's going to get the DRS. Edsack doesn't have that. Edsack doesn't have the ERS. Reload Dia has that. It's going to be oh, he doesn't actually, but with the DRS around the outside of the camera straight, it should be a good move. Susie coming out of nowhere. We've not seen him for a long time in this race, but he's proved he had the spaces. It's like pushes Rio Zero a little bit here, and it's a bit of an illegal overtake actually. If he makes that work, she doesn't. Susie to the outside of Edsack around that hairpin. He's going to have the inside line for No Name Corner, but he goes a little bit too wide. We've got a yellow flag at the back. It's Ennis spinning on the final lap, removing himself from the points. I think Cameron's entire family is watching here, so it's good to see you. All around Tamesis, 1.7 seconds is the gap between him and Banks. Banks looking like he's not going to be able to catch, neither is Emre. The top 3 may be secured unless there's a major mistake. Reloadia P5 now. Edsack just behind. Susie really close. If Susie has the... Oh! Edsack spins. Edsack is out of the race for P5. Oh dear, Edsack. It was going so well. What's happened there? But we're going to go to the lead of this race, Tamesis, coming around the first stop chicane to win the Belgian Grand Prix for F3 Season 8. His 3rd win of the season. Congratulations, Tamesis. It was fantastic to watch. Banks to P2, followed by Captain Emre in P3, Reload Dia P4, and Susie P5. Yeast managing to secure a P6 even with the penalty, followed by Porbeck, Andreas, and Mentelson, and Fabrizio Gutifi himself just clawing on for a singular point. Incredible stuff. Incredible to watch. And Ennis and Nordy Viking, unfortunately, coming across to get 0 points, but they stayed in the race. That's what matters. There's the dedication involved. The more races you stay in, the more races you finish pointless in. That's a matter of fact. But fantastic into that Grand Prix. I'm so sorry, Edsack. I really thought you were going to do great on your debut in F3 this season, but not quite. It didn't quite come to fruition. I'm sorry to see. I'm sorry to say as well, indeed. Oh, wow. Cameron has a lot of fans in the crowd, so I'm happy to see that. And yeah, that's actually important to say. Cameron is commentating in Ero Ps F1 tomorrow at 6 p.m. So maybe there, if he has a co-commentator, we're going to find out. We can celebrate him a little bit more. But I am doing interviews now. So Cameron, we're going to get to chat to the man himself. We're going to get to chat to a few people here. I'm excited to see. Let me change the settings of this party. The player limit is now 4. Let's get him in. It's going to be Banks, Tamesis, and Captain Emre. Captain Emre's first podium this season. Tamesis is maybe his 5th, but it's absolutely his 3rd win of the season. Fantastic to see. Let me get him in. Tamesis is always ready to do an interview. Very open. Gives away everything. There are no secrets with that man. Captain Emre as well. Is he already there? He's already there. Beautiful. Hopefully they can join. I want to interview them. Tamesis first. Cameron, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. How do you feel? You got
Oh
25
my
points for
days.
this Grand Prix. The gap to Lockig is now only 14, no, 16 points. You're back in
Oh,
this. You're back in the championship, Cameron. Tell us your thoughts.
just I had to keep it like calm, chill. I wasn't pushing as much.
Yeah.
Enter conditions was eh. I done zero practice on the wets.
Oh,
Uh, but then it seemed like I was faster than drivers behind, and of course Linus spun. Unlucky time for that. Um,
it happens.
but yeah, I had a gap and I tried to keep it. Of course, the safety car happened, but yeah, I'm happy with the race.
Yeah, it was, I thought at first you were pushing a bit too much when the safety car come in. But then, I don't know, what happened. In the end, you smashed it. You kept the lead. You sustained it. Yeah, it was
Thanks.
fantastic to watch. It really was great to watch. Um, how do you feel about the championship then, as well? Now that you know you're only
Uh,
14 points behind Lockig, things are looking
didn't
up
you
for
say
you again.
16?
16, yeah, sorry, my
Yeah, 16.
my bad.
um, well, I mean, going into this, I had at the very, very back of my head that Paul isn't racing here, and he said he's also possibly not racing next week. So
Ah,
I didn't want to put much pressure on myself because the last time I did that, I DNF'd.
yeah,
So
that makes
I've kind
sense.
of forgot about it. And I mean, this is the first time I've mentioned it in a few days, but yeah, focus was just to finish the race, keep it steady, uh, and yeah, it's pretty much what I've done, and I'm happy with the result.
It absolutely it worked for you. That's pretty clear to see. And your teammate nearly finished the
Oh man,
race. And I
I
don't know
love
if
Edzak now.
he was
Oh
he was fighting with all his worth.
yeah,
Just didn't,
I saw him.
unfortunately.
I was looking behind the safety car restart. I was begging for him to attack, just to try for me to get a gap, but I was able to get the gap without him really attacking.
Yeah,
And he just had to defend off the likes of what Emery, Yeast, and then of course unlucky DNF in the last lap. Yeah, thanks to Edzak if you're watching for helping Mercedes.
absolutely. He tried his best, and it was just on the
Yeah,
final three corners, just losing control of the car. It's heart wrenching. It means, for Mercedes at least, Alex unfortunately doesn't sound like he'll be able to race with us anymore. Um,
he said maybe one or two.
well, if you can,
He's
it'd be happy.
yeah,
Well, we want to host him, obviously, still.
yes.
But the constructors, you gained points on AlphaTauri today,
Oh, that's good.
and the reserves are of good quality. Do you still
Ah,
think this constructors battle is really over?
ah. Well, when I was, well, I mean, I still am teammates with Alex, but like, I didn't think coming into the season I was going to be anywhere near the championship. Me and Alex's plan was to go for constructors,
Mm.
but then first few races I'm winning, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to be quite high in the championship possibly. Like, I think I said I wanted to be top 7 in the championship before the season.
Yeah,
Um, But yeah, progressively, I mean, I haven't had the greatest of results recently, but then of course I had the third in Baku, win today. My confidence is going up, and of course Alex retiring. Even with reserves, I think in my head constructors is off. I'm not thinking about the constructors anymore. I'm going, and Paul, if you're watching, I'm coming for you. I'm going for the championship. I didn't think I was going to be near it, but it's my aim now.
well, I mean, I think it's possible if you fully focus on driving, you prioritize yourself. I think there's a good shout of you winning it. There's also
Yeah.
obviously a good shout of Lockig winning it. I'm not going to deny that,
Mhm.
but
I'd say
I'm
someone else to
excited.
also mention as well.
Oh,
And I mean, not many people would probably say this, but Banks has
yeah,
been really good the last few races. He's after his 27 points in Baku, he went to P3 in the standings with only like a 25, 30 point gap behind me.
yeah,
And then that won't become much bigger with his P2 in this race. So I wouldn't say
absolutely.
exclude Banks, but he's definitely there. If me and Lockig were to make mistakes, he is there to possibly take it,
No, yeah, I think I
obviously not.
think it's a good shout. Um, Thanks, he's now like clearly the third best driver, and he missed two
Yeah,
races.
he's proven it.
Yeah, so because he missed the two races, who knows if he had joined a little bit earlier, maybe he would actually be in this title fight as well. But he's got three podiums now compared to your four, Lockig's four as well. And Lockig, these races he's missing may prove costly in the end. Um, but either way, for you, you're doing what you need to do to me, sis. You're making the
Yeah.
championship work, and it's fantastic to see. But I think that's going to be it for interviews, unless you want to say anything else.
Uh, nah. I don't have anything else to say.
Well, either way, it was fantastic to watch your race. If you've been
Thanks.
watching the stream, um, I've been your host, Liam Cross, as usual, as always. Um, this has been Ero Ps F3 at the Belgian Grand Prix for round 10. We got 6 rounds left. The final round at Japan was cancelled. It was unfortunately cancelled because of the World Cup final happening around that time, and it'd be just, especially for F1. And we thought it'd be better to let the World Cup happen, just trim down the championship. It will still be interesting. Everything gets a bit more exciting the shorter the championship is, anyway. Um, but if you enjoyed this stream, if you enjoyed this race, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and what we'd really like you to do is click that description, click the Discord link in that description. Join the league, join the races, get to chat to the drivers, blah, blah, blah. Lots of good stuff. There's lots of goodies there, lots of things to chat about. You'll enjoy it. Thank you for 50 viewers concurrently at one point. Fantastic to see. 25 still here. It's great to have your
Did you
support.
just say 50?
50. It blew up at some point. I don't know what happened, but it went from 25 to 50.
Wow.
So I'll take it. The streams are getting quite good now. But yeah, I've been your host, Ian Cross. This has been your race winner, Cameron Dunn.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Very good race.
Very good race. Have a nice one. Bye.
Thanks.